Data is everything in AI. Ever wondered how AI can write an essay, create a stunning image, or even drive a car? The secret isn't some magical thinking machine. It's something much simpler, yet far more powerful: data. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you why, in the world of AI, data is everything. We'll uncover the 5 critical truths about data that most people miss, and by the end of this video, you'll understand AI on a level that few do. Stick around, because what you're about to learn will change how you see every piece of technology around you. Welcome to the channel. I'm here to demystify the complex world of technology, and today we re-tackling the single most important concept in artificial intelligence, the data that fuels it. We're going to break down exactly how AI learns, why the data it's trained on acts as its teacher, and what happens when that data is flawed. We lines explore the inconvenient truth about bias in AI and reveal why missing data can make entire groups of people invisible to technology. Let's get started. First up, let's get one thing straight. AI doesn't think. It doesn't understand context, feel emotions, or have brilliant ideas. When you ask an AI to write a poem, it's not contemplating the beauty of a sunset. Instead, it's performing an incredibly complex act of pattern matching. It has been trained on millions, maybe billions, of examples of text from the internet: poems, books, articles, everything. It learns the statistical relationships between words. It knows that after the phrase "the sun sets," the words horizon, golden, or sky are very likely to appear. It's not reasoning. It's predicting the next most probable word based on the patterns it has memorized from its training data. Think of it like a musician who has memorized thousands of songs. They can improvise a new melody that sounds good, not because they're inventing new musical theory, but because they have an intuitive grasp of which notes sound right together based on everything they've ever heard. AI does the same thing, but with data. It's a master mimic, not a conscious creator. This is the fundamental concept you have to grasp. AI is a reflection of its data. So, if AI is just learning from examples, then the data it learns from is incredibly important. In fact, the training data is the AI's entire world. It's the teacher, the textbook, and the classroom all rolled into one. Everything the AI knows, or thinks it knows, comes directly from this data. Imagine you're teaching a child what a dog is. If you only show them pictures of golden retrievers, they might grow up thinking all dogs are large, yellow, and fluffy. If they then see a chihuahua, they'll be completely confused. They might not even recognize it as a dog. The AI is exactly the same. The quality, diversity, and accuracy of its training data directly define its capabilities and its limitations. If we train an AI to identify skin cancer, but only show it images from light-skinned individuals, it will perform poorly when trying to diagnose someone with darker skin. Its knowledge is incomplete because its teacher, the data, was incomplete. This is why data scientists and engineers spend so much of their time not on building complex algorithms, but on collecting, cleaning, and curating the data. The model is only as good as the teacher, and the data is the teacher. This brings us to a critical, and often expensive, lesson in the world of AI. Bad data creates bad AI. There's a common misconception that with AI, more data is always better. That's just not true. More bad data just gives you a more confident, but still wrong, AI. What is bad data? It can be many things. It could be inaccurate data like a weather dataset where the temperatures are all off by 10 degrees. It could be incomplete data, like customer records with missing addresses or phone numbers. Or it could be low-quality data, like blurry images or audio files with a lot of background noise. If you feed this junk into an AI model, you will get junk out. It's the classic computer science principle of garbage in, garbage out, but amplified to a massive scale. For example, if you're building an AI to predict stock prices and you train it on flawed historical data, it won't just make bad predictions. It could lead to disastrous financial decisions. Quality trumps quantity every single time. A smaller, well-curated, accurate dataset will almost always produce a better, more reliable AI than a massive, messy, and inaccurate one. Don't be fooled by the hype around big data. The focus should always be on good data. Now we have to talk about one of the most challenging and important topics in AI: bias. Where does it come from? The simple answer is, it comes from us. AI models learn from data created by humans. And human data reflects our society with all of its existing biases, stereotypes, and inequalities. The AI isn't malicious, it's just holding up a mirror to the data it was given. For instance, if you train an AI on historical hiring data from a company that predominantly hired men for engineering roles, the AI will learn that pattern. It will associate engineer with male candidates, and they unfairly penalize equally qualified female candidates. It's not because the AI is sexist, it's because it learned from sexist data. It concluded, based on the evidence it was shown, that men are simply more likely to be engineers. This is a huge problem. It means that if we're not careful, AI can perpetuate and even amplify harmful societal biases, embedding them into the automated systems that are increasingly running our lives, from loan applications to criminal justice. The only way to fight this is to be incredibly intentional about the data we use, actively working to debias it and ensure it represents the world we want to live in, not just the world as it has been. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, we need to understand what happens when data is missing. If a group of people, a specific situation, or a certain context isn't represented in the training data, then for the AI, it effectively doesn't exist. These people become invisible. We saw this with early facial recognition systems that were trained primarily on images of white men. They worked terribly for women and people of color. We saw it with voice assistants that struggled to understand certain accents or dialects because those speech patterns weren't included in their training data. This isn't just an inconvenience, it can have serious real-world consequences. Imagine a self-driving car that wasn't trained on images of people in wheelchairs. It might not recognize them as pedestrians, creating a life-threatening situation. Or a medical AI that gives less accurate results for a specific ethnic group because their health data was underrepresented in the study. When we build AI, we have a responsibility to ensure that our data is inclusive and representative of everyone the technology will affect. If we fail to do that, we risk building a future where technology works for some but fails, or even harms, others. The empty spaces in our data are just as important as the data itself. So, let's recap the 5 key truths. 1. AI learns from patterns in data. It doesn't think or reason. 2. The training data is the AI's teacher, defining everything it knows. 3. Bad data creates bad AI. Quality is far more important than quantity. 4. Bias in AI is a reflection of the bias that already exists in our human-generated data. And 5. If you're not in the data, you're invisible to the AI. Understanding these 5 principles is the key to truly understanding AI. It's not about the code, it's about the data. I hope this has given you a new perspective on how AI really works. It's a powerful tool, but one that is shaped entirely by the information we give it. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel AI Videos. Artificial intelligence videos for everybody, for more deep dives into the tech that shapes our world. And for your next step, I highly recommend watching my video on how AI hallucinations actually work. It has the perfect follow-up to what we've discussed today, and you can find it right here in this playlist. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.